Apparently, Vladimir Klitschko and Brian Jennings, are not signed, sealed, and delivered yet, but they've agreed to the financial terms of the contract. They're just waiting to iron out some other stuff. That's taking place April 25th on HBO at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. But Shannon Briggs was in the news today trying to, make a case that he should be the guy to fight Klitschko next. I just want to know what's become of the heavyweight division when this guy says, I believe that Briggs Klitschko is the fight that should happen. This is Briggs talking. I was born and raised in the same neighborhood. This is a business. Viewership is important. Blah, 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 blah. He's saying that he's already promoted it. 72% of the people wants this fight and all of this stuff. Listen, man, let's be real, all right? My question of today is, what's a bigger joke? Shannon Briggs or the WBA for ranking him at number 6 in the world in their bogus rankings to even get him in the conversation. If you take a look at Shannon Briggs, Briggs' record, all right? Now, granted, he was a former world champion. He won the WBA World Heavyweight title in 2006. You might as well throw it in. Facts are facts. He lost it in his very first defense 6 months later. So, I mean, it wasn't like he was a long reigning champ. All right. When he fought George Foreman in 1997, he robbed George Foreman, not him, but the judges. There's no way he beat George Foreman in 1997. It was a majority decision. He got a gift that set up a fight that he later got a chance to fight Lennox Lewis in 1998. Lennox Lewis destroyed him. Then he gets another shot at a major title against the other Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, in 2010. He ended up in a hospital for how many months? He retired from boxing after that fight. 4 years later, in April of 2014, last year, he comes back, Marenzio Smith. Now check this out. The guys that he fought, Marenzio Smith, Francisco Morales, Matthew Greer, Rafael Zambrano-Love, Corey Phelps, and Richard Carmack. Are you kidding me? How can the WBA rank him even in the top 25, let alone in the top 6? If you remove Rafael Zambrano-Love, just because his record is 34-7-1, but take a look at his record and who he's fought and where he's fought and all this other stuff. The combined record of all his other opponents in 2014, 73 wins, 39 losses, and a draw. All right? Now, that might sound good to somebody, but this is a guy that is vying for a world heavyweight title. How does a guy like Shannon Briggs even get ranked at 43 years old? I mean, look, when you look at the statistics, he's 6'4", 80-inch reach. All that stuff is great to fight Klitschko. But I'm sorry, man. If Klitschko accepts this fight, for some reason Brian Jennings falls out, I'm going to lose respect for Vladimir Klitschko. This is a joke of a fight. This is sending a message. It's bad enough that we have to deal with these coddled fighters that get hand-carried to a world title. And Deontay Wilder is the guy that comes to mind. Now, he has an opportunity to prove me 100% wrong coming up in a couple of weeks. But a guy like him who hasn't fought anyone, not one real fighter, and I'm excluding Audley Harrison and Lukajevich because they both took naps in that fight purposely, all right? I mean, a guy like him, it's bad enough that we have to watch a guy like him get, catapult up in the rankings and be regarded as a legitimate fighter and et cetera, and he'll have his chance to prove that. But Shannon Briggs, I mean, if he fought a contender, any contender, our rankings in the heavyweight division, which incidentally should be updated soon. Any contender, forget the top 10, even a guy like Chris Arreola, who we do have in our top 10, but, Manuel Charr, Mike Perez, Tony Thompson, Seth Mitchell, Dimitrenko, Francisco Piata, even Steve Cunningham, Amir Mansour, Jonathan Banks, all those guys, Franklin Lawrence, Dennis Boystov, Malik Scott, Dominic Brazil. I mean, Lucas Brown. Fight one of those guys. And those are guys that are ranked in our like top 15 to 20. One guy. I wouldn't be able to say what I'm saying, but he is fighting guys that hadn't fought in a long time. He's fighting guys that never beat somebody with a winning record in a guy like Matthew Greer. This is a travesty for the sport of boxing to have people maneuvered like Shannon Briggs. Was he funny? Is he entertaining to watch him eat and eat Klitschko stuff and hit him with a wave and all of those things? Hey, champ. Oh, what you eating, champ? Come on. Where you go, I go. You go, I go. You go, I eat. All those things. Yeah, I get it. It's entertaining. It's funny. I liked it too. But let's be real. When are we going to start taking back this sport? When are we going to start making it serious again? All right, it's time now. We're in the first week of a new year. We as fans get to drive this bus that we call boxing. All right, all you got to do is say no. Don't buy it. Don't go to the events. Don't do it. And even though they're going to say, oh, boxing's dead, nobody's coming to the fights, nobody's buying the pay-per-views. No, that's not going to be what happens. What's going to be happening is somebody's going to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe we need to give these guys something better, a better product. Maybe we need to give the boxing world a better product. Al Heyman, we're talking about Al Heyman and how much of a cancer he is. He's got his deal with NBC Sports. NBC Sports, what that means now is that NBC Sports is going to be a showcase channel. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with NBC and Fox Sports and ESPN. I'm okay with them being showcases. But when you get to the cable networks and, of course, pay-per-views, that's when you got to have quality fights, quality matchups, not only on paper, but in the ring. If we keep getting that from Al Heyman, I guess that based on that email we got before, the pessimistic view of Al Heyman will come into play. I'll be back in 2.
Talking back.